Hi, my name is Daniela Latif, and my Lost Cause project is going to be about the Stonewall Monument. The monument was in Bronx, New York, dedicated in the year 1957. According to the National Park Service, quotes, then in 1861 the Civil War started, and Jackson led troops to the Battle of the Confederacy, end quotes. Asserting that the Confederate States of America's cause during the Civil War was just, noble, and not centered on slavery, the lost cause of the Confederacy is pseudo-historical negotiationist mythology in the United States. According to TheAtlantic.com, quotes, a principal goal of the lost cause to renegotiate Confederate soldiers into the honorable traditions of the very American military they had once fought against. Members of the Lost Cause movement lobbied to have newly built bases named after Confederate generals, times without success. End quote. The Lost Cause was a significant historical period. Although Stonewall Jackson had a significant impact on the Lost Cause, many people opposed to the idea that having his monument in the Bronx, New York, and demanded that it be removed right away. They did this by organizing numerous protests, marches, and riots across the state of New York, as well as by having many people express their opinions on the monument. The monument was then taken down in the year 2017 by the order of the Governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. This picture represents the Confederate general bust at Bronx Community College that will be removed, according to Zoe Ronsberg. Quotes, Bronx Community College President Thomas Langsby released a statement this evening announcing that the school will remove the bust of Robert E. Lee and Thomas, quotes, Stonewall Jackson from the Hall of Fame for Great Americans on its campus, end quote. This picture shows on July 1861, 35,000 men marched out to begin a long-awaited campaign to quickly capture Richmond at the end of the war. According to the battles of Bull Run and Manassas, quote, it was an army of amateur recruits, few of whom knew the battle that was to come. As excitement spread through the city, citizens and politicians loaded up their wagons with families and planned to picnic as they watched the colorful show, end quote. This picture shows on June 1861, these men are anticipating the onslaught of the Civil War. According to David Zach, quotes, though the Confederates had bombarded Fort Sumter 2 months earlier, slanging the start of the Civil War, there had been few additional clashes. Taken by surprise, the rebels ran off in retreat, some reportedly still in their pajamas, causing the papers to call the event races at the Philippines. Even so, shots were fired and 30 men were wounded, making it arguably the first major land action of the war. End quote. This picture shows the riots at the Stonewall in 1969. This shows this was not the first time that the LGBTQ community protested for their rights. According to The Insider, quotes, in the decade prior to the Stonewall uprising, the LGBTQ community attended heightened public visibility and was boosted by an environment full of other social movements that instigated with the LGBTQ rights, including the Black Power movement, second wave feminism, and the Vietnam War protests. There was also multiple public confrontations between the LGBTQ community and the police forces. End quotes. This picture shows people gathered around while the Stonewall Jackson Monument was being removed. According to Laura Vozella and Gregory S. Schneider, quotes, hundreds gathered to watch crews dismantle the statue, one of 5 honoring Confederate icons on the Monument Avenue in Richmond, the former capital of the Confederacy. Since the outbreak of national protests following the killing of George Floyd in police custody in late May, crowds have gathered nightly in Richmond denouncing the statues and demanding their removal. End quotes.